All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk to you about RIOT Blockchain, stock ticker RIOT. These guys are Bitcoin miners. We talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners quite a bit on this channel, so if you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And of course, feel free to leave a comment below. You will also see in our pinned comment below a link to our free Discord. So I want to talk about RIOT today because yesterday they released their April mining and operations update. So I want to go through that update and see where they're at, and then take a look at their stock and their chart and see where they may be headed. So let's start right out by looking at the press release. Okay, RIOT Blockchain announces April 2022 production and operations updates. RIOT produced 508 Bitcoin in April of 2022. Let's read through their highlights. Bitcoin production and operations updates. In April 2022, RIOT produced 508 Bitcoin, an increase of approximately 150% as compared to April of 2021 production of 203 Bitcoin. Now, those of you who are familiar with the channel know that I really don't care about year over year in the mining industry because it's just not very meaningful. What I do care about is month over month. So we always go through the month over month. So I'm going to show you what they did last month. Okay, so RIOT last month produced a company record 511 Bitcoin. So that was their all-time record at that time. So if you do the math, they actually did about 16.5 Bitcoins a day in March, and they moved that up to about 17 Bitcoin per day in the month of April. So they actually did mine at a little bit higher rate in April, although they were not able to beat their all-time record. They fell 3 short, and that was simply because there's one less day in the month. So all in all, I'm going to say this was a good number. Actually, I thought it was going to be probably 15 or 20 Bitcoin higher than this, but the math works out pretty good on this. So, and again, other than Core Scientific, there's nobody that's even mined 500 Bitcoin other than RIOT, and this is the second month in a row that they're hitting that target. I do expect that to go up quite a bit next month, more in the 550 range. So then they say, as of April 30th, 2022, RIOT held approximately 6,320 Bitcoin, all produced by the company's self-mining operations. So they have not bought any Bitcoin. This is all their own self-mined Bitcoin. They're holding 6,320 on their balance sheet, so they have a very strong balance sheet. However, they are no longer hodling 100% of their Bitcoin. They did that for quite some time, and there's still a lot of miners left that are doing that. RIOT is now taking the approach. This is the second month in a row. Last month, they spent 200 Bitcoin. This month, you'll see it says here in April of 2022, RIOT sold 250 Bitcoin, generating net proceeds of approximately $10 million. So they are using a portion of the Bitcoin that they mine each month to generate cash to either fund operations or growth, and still putting the majority of them into their hodl position on their balance sheet. So they're really the first ones I see taking this hybrid approach, and they just started this last month. CleanSpark takes a different approach. They have almost no Bitcoin on their balance sheet. They spend as many Bitcoin as it takes in a month to fulfill their cash needs. So sometimes that's actually even more than they mined in the month. So I think they have about 400 or 500 Bitcoin to spare on their balance sheet. Other than that, other than CleanSpark, I don't know of too many companies that are selling their Bitcoin. So this is the second month in a row for RIOT with this strategy. So they have not come out and said this definitively, but it looks like that's how they're going to work on a going forward basis. We'll have to watch that closely month to month. Okay, RIOT currently has deployed fleet of approximately 46,375 miners with a hash rate capacity of 4.7 exahash per second. So that is up. I'm going to go to April and show you where they were at. So in March, you can see here they were at 4.3 exahash per second. So if we fast forward to this latest and greatest update, they're now at 4.7 exahash per second. So they added 0.4 exahash per second, or a little less than 10%. So that was a good month. I want to just run through their mining deployment and shipment update. This kind of gives a little perspective as to what's going on and lets us know what to expect in the next month or two. Since its last monthly update, RIOT received an additional 5,070 new S19j Pros. They deployed approximately 3,456 S19j Pros in its immersion cooling building. So they're starting their immersion cooling. They haven't reaped a lot of benefits from that yet, but that's getting up and running. And when it's done, they will have 200 megawatts of power running on immersion cooling. Then they say they have 7,240 additional miners staged for deployments. So those are miners received and ready to deploy, but they are not mining Bitcoin yet. So typically, those are what we can expect them to deploy over the course of the coming month. Additionally, shipments of 1,702 S19j Pros have been initiated out of Bitmain and are expected to be received during May of 2022, which is this month. So upon deployment of the stage miners and those from the May delivery, the company expects to have a total of 55,317 miners deployed with a hash rate capacity of approximately 5.6 exahash. So I would expect that as of June 30th, they're going to be at 5.6 exahash. They plan to get to 12.8 exahash. That's how many machines they have purchased already. They, of course, are not all shipped yet. So this puts them, once again, pretty much right on schedule. So this is one of the things I've liked about Riot. They do give a monthly update. It's a little more comprehensive than some of the other companies, and they let you know how many machines they installed, how many are staged and ready for installation, and how many are in shipment on the way. So I think we can expect by June 30th for them to be at about 5.6 exahash. So maybe by May 31st in their next operational update, you know, we could expect maybe 5.2 exahash. So it's for that reason that I'm expecting them to increase their total number of Bitcoin. May has 31 days in it, and they will be at a higher hash rate than they've ever been at. So, you know, ballpark, let's see what happens. I'm thinking next month is about 550. Okay, so then here they say estimated hash rate growth. By January of 2023, Riot anticipates a total self-mining hash rate capacity of approximately 12.8 exahash per second, assuming full deployment of approximately 120,150 Antminer ASICs. So those are all already ordered and have been for some time. The 12.8 exahash, they say, but excludes any potential expected incremental productivity from the company's utilization of the 200 megawatts of immersion cooling infrastructure. Although they'll have 12.8 exahash per second of machines per manufacturer specifications, it's possible that they will be mining at a rate above that because they will have 200 megawatts worth of this in immersion cooling, which is supposed to allow for a higher hash rate. So we'll have to see how that plays out over time, and you know, this 12.8 could be more like 13.3 or who knows. So we'll have to wait and see. I want to take a step back and look at Riot's price and their market cap, and then I want to go through a little analysis, and then I want to go to the charts and go through potential price targets. Right now, Riot's trading at $11.14. It was up 1.5% yesterday. So these numbers, again, are at the close of business yesterday, May 3rd. So that left them with a market cap of $1.3 billion. Now, I want to show you what their historical market cap has been, because this stock has been beaten down soundly. So if I go to a chart of their market cap, this is their market cap over the last couple of years. And I want to point out just a couple of numbers. On February 15, 2021, so that was a little over a year ago, their market cap was $5.9 billion. Now, I always like to remind everybody on the channel that in February and March of 2021, there was a bit of a bubble in the small cap high growth stocks and in the Bitcoin mining stocks. So I discount this number, but understand it was at $5.9 billion. But I am not even going to use that number as we go forward. What I am going to look at, if you fast forward all the way to November, and at that point, all the other small cap high growth stocks had already been through a lot of the process of getting beaten up. So this is a much more realistic number. Their market cap was $4.13 billion. So that was on November 8th. That was within one day of when Bitcoin hit its all-time high. So there's two factors. Yes, Bitcoin was at a little bit of a higher price, but this stock is trading at $1.3 billion right now. That's less than a third of the market cap that it was at 5 months ago. So they're twice the size of the company, and they're a third of the size of the market cap. So that is what has happened to them. And I'd like to go through this because sometimes people get confused that, you know, they have issued stock and they're going to issue more stock. So sometimes people think that the price just went down because they've diluted the stock and the price went down, but that is not the case. This is the market cap. The market cap should not be negatively affected by getting money. So at a minimum, you would argue it would stay the same, if not increase, because they're actually receiving more money. But that did not happen. The market cap has decreased significantly. So with that in mind, I want to go look at the chart. Okay, here's Riot's chart on the one-day time frame. So this is just short of the last 1 year of activity. This is when Bitcoin hit $29,000. So last year, that was the bottom for Bitcoin. In July, it hit $29,000. At that time, Riot was $24.94, so approximately $25. So this was serving as an extremely strong line of support. So you'll see, remember, the month of September was very difficult for Bitcoin as well. So there was a big pullback in Bitcoin. And once again, Riot pulled back to this $25 line, and this line of support held nicely. So it bounced off of this and proceeded to run up to its November high, which was not its all-time high. This stock was at $46 at the peak of November, which was when Bitcoin was at its peak. So you can see somewhere in late December and then in January, this line of support, which had held strong for a year, turned into a line of resistance. Riot, over the last few days, has set more than a 52-week low. This is like an 18-month low for them right now. So this stock is trading, in my opinion, extremely oversold. I've been mentioning in most of my videos, we are in a very risk-off trade environment right now. So I am personally holding my Riot. I have increased my Riot position significantly during, this period right here. Now, again, this is not financial advice. This is what I've done. I'm not telling you to buy the stock. You guys have to do your own due diligence. You have to feel comfortable with this company and understand what they do and where they've been and where they're going. So, and please, you can see this stock has moved dramatically in both directions. So this is an extremely volatile stock. So please be careful, know your stocks. Having said that, I'm going to give you a few of what I consider my personal price targets for this stock. Okay, as ridiculous as it seems, if we just go back just a little over 1 month and a few days, this stock was trading over $23. So I think it's a very reasonable short-term 30, 60, 90-day price target for this stock to get back to that point, and that would be more than 100%. That's a 113% increase in the price of their stock. And again, that's just to get back to where they were last month. And just so that you understand, what I believe is that this stock has been dragged down by the risk-off trade with money leaving these high-growth companies. We see their update on a monthly basis, and they have had excellent operations for the year of 2022. So I have this as a very realistic 90-day goal. Now that doesn't mean it's going to happen, but if Bitcoin can stay healthy and reapproach, 48 or 50,000, they expect to be at 5.6 exahash shortly. My next target, we got to go back to December 3rd. December 3rd was the day of the Bitcoin flash crash. So this was where Riot was when Bitcoin was at 56,000. Now again, remember, this was back in December. So Riot was less than half the size that it will be, in maybe 1 month from now. But yet the stock price will have to go up 210% just to get back to where it was at that time. So again, given the success that they've had operationally, the massive amount of Bitcoin that they're mining, if they stay on target for the rest of the year, it's extremely reasonably possible to believe they'll be mining about 1,000 Bitcoin a month, maybe more. There is no reason to believe that this stock won't get back to at least $34. So please understand there's always a risk-reward equation in this, and know your risk and know your reward and know your own stocks. I know you guys do. So that's all I've got on Riot for now. So thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, please remember to subscribe to the channel and to smash the like button. We appreciate it so much, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks.